Welcome to Scale Model Basics. I'm Tim Kidwell. A couple weeks ago, we did a Scale Model Basics about using quick shine to dip your canopies or other clear plastic parts in, not only for protection, but to give them a jewel-like finish. What we used to use Future for, and some of you who still have a stockpile of Futures still use it for. We did, however, get a bunch of comments on that video. If you want to check it out, it's in the links below, called Your Future Replacement. Anyway, but we did get a lot of comments about it, questions, and Aaron and I got to thinking, well, let's do some tests on camera and see if we can't get quick shine to fail. We've got a couple of commenters who have said that they've had some issues with it, either masking or painting over it. So let's go ahead and see what we can do to get quick shine to not work the way that we think it should. First, we've had some comments about how quick shine will drip because it's thin. Yes, it is thin and it will drip if you just hammer it on whatever you're going to be spraying. Future used to do that too. So, go ahead and we'll put some in here. See, yep, quite thin. But when you're spraying it, spray on something that isn't your model first so you can get some experience with it, so you know what's going on. And you may have to adjust the pressure coming out of your compressor. So, yeah, see now, if I'm just going to hammer this on there, yeah, there's some running. Right? But what you can do is you can just do some light passes first. Just do some light passes, get used to it, and then just go back over and reapply. Rather than just deciding to go ahead and coat the thing once, do a few passes and build up the gloss. So you can see, yeah, where I hammered it, well, yeah, I've got drips. I've got drips going there. But where I haven't, you can see that it's building up. Is it exactly the consistency that I want right now? No, but I can get it there. So that's the first thing, okay? We have a number of spoons here for testing. I have painted each of these spoons with a different kind of paint. We've got Revell enamels, Revell acrylics, Tamiya lacquers, Mr. Color lacquers, AK Real Color lacquers, Tamiya acrylics, Vallejo Model Air acrylics, and then just good old Tamiya primer. Now, all of these other colors on these spoons, they've all gone over the top of Tamiya primer. So we're just going to go ahead and use the quick shine and airbrush that onto all of these. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build up that sheen. And that may require me waiting just a little bit in between for things to settle down before going back over it again. They're all now coated with quick shine. To hurry the process along, and because we were looking for things that maybe you wouldn't necessarily want to do, we went ahead and applied heat to all of these with a hairdryer on high to get the quick shine to dry faster. I over applied the heat on this one, and you can really see that there's sort of a tide mark there where it had blushed. So that's now in there. And then up on this one here, applied the heat to a point where pushed the excess down and really made it blush here at the edges. So My recommendation is if you are applying quick shine that you probably do not want to apply heat to it. Let the quick shine go ahead and cure on its own. And then if you are not happy with the level of gloss, come back in and apply another coat or two to it. But for testing purposes right now, I think we're ready to move on, which would be for us to apply masking tape. Let's do that next. All right. The masking tape's on there now. And when we peel this masking tape up, we'll see if it peels the quick shine up with it. In the meantime, we should really paint over the quick shine now and see if it accepts paint going over the top of it. Let's hit it with something, how about this? We will hit it with A-Stand metallic lacquer from Ammo. That's probably about the hottest lacquer we've got on hand right now. We'll see if that goes ahead and eats through the quick shine or not, because I'm pretty sure acrylic paints are going to be fine over the top of it. And the enamels are probably going to be okay. And if we're going to hit it with these lacquers, well, we might as well just hit it with something that's really going to try and score right down through it. So let's pour some paint. Here we go. Here are the spoons. We have the Ammo A-Stand lacquer already applied to them. It's dried. We have not let it dry 24 hours, so you know we're just stacking stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff here, right? Taking all the shortcuts to see, you know, this stuff fails on us. Now the thing about the A-Stand is you can tell it's nice, super thin, and it shows all of the flaws, right? All of the flaws on these spoons. Any little grains of dirt, even the texture of the Tamiya tape that we used. So let's go ahead and pull this tape off and see what happens with the underlying quick shine and paint. We're going to start up here with the Revell enamel. All right. It does not appear that any quick shine pulled up. The enamel is still there. And it doesn't look like the lacquer that we put on top of it is eating through that quick shine. Next up, the Revell acrylic, the aqua. That's looking pretty good too. I do want to just point out any of these mistakes, right? Any of these little flubs, this poor paint job, that's on me. That's not necessarily the product. That's me just painting spoons, and I'm not coming back in and polishing these things. All right, Tamiya lacquer. Came right off. Quick shine seems to be holding up over the top of that. Mr. Color, it too is a lacquer. Now on that one, that's interesting. Now this Mr. Color, this white, was a gloss. And when we were putting it down, the quick shine didn't seem to settle on the gloss nearly as well as what it did on the flat colors. So that might be one thing I would suggest, is maybe not use quick shine over the top of an already gloss finish, because it just doesn't seem to hold up or hold to the finish as well. And here's something else. So you can see where that tape came up, it looks like it pulled a little bit of the quick shine off right there. If I get the light just right, so you can see that. I think maybe a little bit of the quick shine came off of that gloss underneath. So that might be one of those things where don't put quick shine over an already gloss finish. Let's continue on. AK Real Color. This was that. This was the poor green spoon. Pay no attention to the lacquer getting underneath the edges of that mask job. That's all on me, right? But again, other than that blushing where we were rushing the job with the hairdryer, you can definitely still see that. You can see that there's a difference between here and here. But other than that, none of it peeled up and it's still nice and smooth. All right, Tamiya acrylic. All right, we can definitely see that. Now, you can see that quick shine has definitely been marred, and you can see where the quick shine pulled off of the Tamiya acrylic. So it'll be interesting to find out as we're going through here what's going to happen next with this Model Air. And it looks like nothing. It peeled off without anything happening to it. Looks very nice, pristine, I would say, especially when compared to the Tamiya acrylic next to it. That Model Air, it held on to it just fine. And then lastly, just straight over Tamiya primer. And it too came up without any marring. So the only one that I see that we're looking at that may have an issue is Tamiya acrylic. I'm gonna have to think a little bit harder about this because I'm not sure why the Tamiya acrylic would come up like that, but these other acrylics wouldn't. And I'm gonna have to do a little bit more testing to see what I can find. But overall, it looks like the quick shine can be painted on. It holds up under and over most paints. Well, it definitely holds up on, under a pretty hot lacquer, which I would then surmise, again, not without testing, but that it would hold up under enamels and under acrylics. So what did we learn? We learned that we're gonna take this spoon here with the Tamiya acrylic spoon, and we're gonna go back in the workshop with it. Yeah, we're gonna go back in the workshop. Now that I'm wondering about the Tamiya, I wanna do a clear test on it and see. So I'm dipping one of the spoons, just like what you would do with a canopy, right? And what I wanna do is see if we can do a test on the clear spoon without anything else on it. And I'll let that dry. And in the meantime, we'll try and figure out something else for that Tamiya. So we've used the same process. We put primer down, and then I put the, hurriedly, because you can see the orange peel there, I put the Tamiya blue back down. And then before we put the quick shine on, because we're using the same process, let's just go ahead and see what happens if I mask just the paint without the quick shine. Because if this messes up just the paint, then we know that it's more of a paint issue and probably how long we're letting it cure and using a blow dryer to cure it rather than maybe the quick shine interacting with it. So Yeah, you can see that. So this is probably more of an instance where we haven't allowed the Tamiya acrylic paint the proper amount of time to cure, to let it completely settle out before we put the quick shine over the top of it. And then we went ahead and we doubled up and we masked and we did a bunch of other things on top of it, painting, lacquers to boot. Well, after that bit of a Tamiya surprise, and heading back into the workshop, obviously we have now the dipped clear spoon, and as he said, this newly painted spoon in Tamiya acrylics. What we're going to do is this: we're going to let this completely dry for 24 hours, and then apply the quick shine to it. Let the quick shine dry, and then we'll do the masking tape test again. In the meantime, we've got this guy, which would be equivalent to a canopy, I think. So let's go ahead and put a piece of masking tape right down the center there. Look at that. Came off nice and clean. No problems there. So you shouldn't have any trouble masking your clear canopies over quick shine. So the only one that we're really waiting on right now is this. We'll wait 24 hours and then show you what happens.
Mere moments later.
Aaron and I shut off the camera after just filming that last bit. And we got talking. It's like, well, remember earlier we're talking about how the quick shine didn't take well to the Mr. Color gloss. And of course, the blue that we were using is X3 Royal Blue, which is Tamiya gloss. So maybe part of the problem we surmised in this discussion is that we weren't listening to ourselves and said, oh, yeah, this is gloss and the quick shine doesn't necessarily like gloss. So we went back and we sprayed another spoon using the same technique that we've been using this entire time, this time red-brown XF90. Here it is. That's the spoon. It's got the quick shine on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and, this is not 24 hours later, I'm gonna go ahead and put a piece of masking tape on here and see what happens. Let's straighten that out a little bit. Okay, so we got it on there. Looks good. No line. No line. So even though we found out that the quick shine still works okay with flat Tamiya acrylic, we want to definitely wait the 24 hours, let the gloss Tamiya settle down. We'll come back and we'll apply the quick shine and we'll go ahead and put a piece of tape across there and see what happens.
One shirt change later.
Here we are, 24 hours later, and here is the spoon with the quick shine on it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Very shiny, and what I think is completely dry. So let's go ahead and give this a test. And again, we're talking about, there's the gloss blue underneath it. We wanted to give it enough time to completely cure and see if it would hold to it. So there's our masking tape. Yes, I did a, you know, I don't want to hear from you guys that I did a poor job of masking that. whatever. Anyway, so I have really laid on. I've burnished this down. Let's see what happens. Lo and behold, it has held. Okay, so I go back to that question from earlier. What have we learned? I think we've learned that quick shine will hold its shine. It will not peel up off of flat finishes, and you can, you know, pour it on with speed, I mean, all right? You can use the hair dryer, dry the lacquers, enamels, and acrylics down, and then go ahead and spray the quick shine on there, and you can work pretty quickly that way. If the paint is gloss, then, whoop, I'm throwing tape. If the paint is gloss, then you're definitely going to want to let the gloss dry down, and then you're going to want to let the quick shine dry down for at least 24 hours, and then the surface should be good to go to mask on. We know that we can paint over it. Whew, holy cow. So there are the quick shine tests. I know it's probably not exhaustive, right? We cannot tell you right now if quick shine will yellow over time because we haven't been using it long enough to tell you that. I don't know if anybody has been using it long enough to tell you that. But for right now, at least, if you were using Future, quick shine could be a good alternative for you.
One eternity later.
Does FineScale Modeler have a vested interest in you using quick shine as a replacement for Future? Absolutely not. We're just trying to answer some of the questions that you, the viewers and readers of the magazine, have had. I hope we've done a substantial job, a worthy job. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.